What's going on, my creative collective? Welcome to Friday, June 3rd. Happy Friday. We made it. But realistically, when you do what you love, Friday doesn't matter. It's Friday. Every day is a Friday, I think. Nonetheless, we're going to do this. So let's dive in, all right? Okay. I would like to invite the angels, my guardian angels, my spirit guides, protectors, teachers, and their healing energy to this space, and I ask that it is a safe and brave space that allows for the fullest expression of our light, humanity, ascension, and healing. Okay, I have an itch on my arm. Okay, there we go. Okay. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives, please? For this you were born. Foster your intention for incarnating in this dimension. A little bit of tending to our soul and our soul's purpose. It's a good way to end out the week, I think. Oh, this one wanted to come popping out. The reward. Celebrate your magnificence. Yes, 111 was just on the time. Yeah. I like that energy a lot. Divine discernment. Step back to find clarity. A little bit of a big picture take. I almost get this sort of celebratory vibe, but taking a look and taking stock of other things as well. So it's a good end of week reflection, I think, but let's see where the energy takes us today. So far this week has been very interesting. I almost get the impression that you're like preparing for something. Preparing for a relationship, for the wheel to turn, just based on the energies from this week. It's like preparing for that energy to shift. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives? 10 of Pentacles. Oh, that's really nice energy. A lot of like soul family vibes, but also just this investment, like things coming to fruition or you planting the seeds. Like there's something shifting, right? It's like I said, there's something that's shifting. So you starting in this energy doesn't really surprise me. And the Hermit, the 8 of Wands. I get the impression that there's a squirrel or a bird outside that is unimpressed with it raining. So I apologize if that squeaking is as loud for you as it is for me. The Hanged Muse, the Knight of Pentacles, the 9 of Pentacles. Ooh, there's a lot of pentacle energy here. That's beautiful. This is quite lovely. And the World. Yeah, see, that's like something's coming to an end or a conclusion of some kind. And then we have the Page of Swords and the 6 of Cups. Oh, but the star, look at that. The star is right there too. So I feel, I'm just going to close the window because that squeaking is driving me up the wall. 333 on the time. Oh my goodness. Did it stop? No, it's still going. Okay, so window closed. It was just quite sharp and shrill. So, but nonetheless, we're starting with the 10 of Pentacles here, which is excellent. This is an energy of investment, but this is also in this particular, with what I'm seeing here, it strikes me as like a reflective 10 of Pentacles. Like we're reflecting on the way to get there, where we are in our progress to it, and how we're making our way there. And then the Hermit is showing up in this this absolutely beautiful wisdom energy. So this is like, it does strike me as a reflective energy before we start to move forward on something. An 8 of Wands, right? So moving forward. This could also represent travel. So there could be, I'm getting something short term, like short distance though, nothing like long trips or anything like that. It could be like a getaway. Like sometimes it's, sometimes going on retreats every so often is nice just to reflect for yourself. I do more day trips where I'll go somewhere and bring my notebook with me and endeavor to sit out with a cup of coffee or, tea or something like that wherever I go and just reflect on the weeks past or the month past just to gain my footing and grounding. Not if I'm feeling ungrounded, but just as a general practice, it's nice to do. So maybe something like that, like just a little daycation, right, is something that might be helpful. But this Ten of Pentacles and Hermit, there's an investment energy here. It's almost like you're investing in your own wisdom on something, and it's almost like you're betting on yourself. I'm getting with this movement energy, like what are you moving towards, and very quickly too. So there's like this sort of bet that you're placing on yourself, and you're happy about doing it. You're impressed with doing it. Like you're pleased about it. And then there's this Six of Wands here showing up in the thing that could kind of become a tower if it's not tended to. And I get this as showing up, interestingly, this card has shown up a few times in different placements. And in this particular spread, I'm getting this energy of doing things for a more public facing reason, like doing things, how do I word this, like doing things because of obligations rather than wanting to, and doing it because it's wisdom that you have, right? This, it's not obligations energy, but in a sense it kind of is to me in this spread. It's showing up as like the way that you think it should happen or the way you think it should be, so that's how it's happening. It's also kind of like people pleasing I'm getting as well. So it could just be something to watch going into the weekend, and, just something that we're taking stock of from this week. And this is showing up in the protagonist position, the Hanged Muse. So I think that there's like some kind of steady and slow awareness that you're gaining. This has shown up a couple times this week. So this sort of something is occurring to you in a bit of it's like its own time, like it's divine timing, really. But it's its own time, and there's like a slow progress. And I think the Knight of Pentacles here is in the antagonist position because you might feel compelled to rush or to, there's like this tension between moving quickly and well, and this tension between, where you want to be and where you are. So it's almost like just making peace with where you are. This almost feels like a slightly faster pace than this because there's not much movement at all aside from in the heart space and in the mind and some clarity. And this is like the physical movement. So maybe you just need to let yourself be today, just to let yourself be, right? Don't rush towards anything. Don't, struggle with anything. Just be, and let that be your effort today. The reason being is that this confidence is the challenge. Like Nine of Pentacles is like being in your confident energy, right? When you're in this confident Nine of Pentacles energy, that's its own kind of manifesting power. Technically, it's like pre-Empress energy. But what this also is like, in a sense, I get from this, how do I word this? The sense that I get from this card is one of... it's challenging to know your worth and value, especially if you're in this kind of people-pleasing energy or like giving energy. And it's the Six of Wands tends to be a victory card, but because it's like a performance here, right? Like there's some degree of fame, and I, what came to mind with this was just the way that I was reading an interview that Harry Styles gave about how he felt like he couldn't express his sexuality much when he was in One Direction, and they actually had contracts. They had like clauses in the contract. I think it was like some kind of cleanliness contract or something like that, where he couldn't be like, he was idolized as a sex figure, like this sex symbol, but then he couldn't actually be comfortable in his own skin, in his very sexual being. And he was talking about how like he felt this disgust with himself for so long for having, these like wanting to have sex and wanting to have this life. And like, granted, he's older now, so it might have been different when he was younger, which is fair. But there's this part of this where it's like this people pleasing, like that is people pleasing, like encoded somewhere. but it's like this sense of, I'm getting that from this here. And the challenge is this Nine of Pentacles is like knowing your worth, and not just knowing your worth in a way that's like, I know my worth, and that justifies withholding. It's not energy like that at all. This is an energy of knowing your worth and respecting yourself sufficient that you can end and begin cycles. And this is not the cycles of the wheel. This is like portal energy, where it's like there's two, right? Like the beginning and the end. Like it's like two sides of things happening here, and not two sides of things as in duality. I'm talking about like the ending and the beginning of something, right? Like the world, that every card has in the major arcana has minor arcana reflections as well. The world can represent or be represented by the 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups, 9 of Cups, 6 of Wands, which is here as well, the 3 of Cups, and the 6 of Cups, I think. Because it's all encompassing, these like celebratory energies that are endings, and then they welcome in new beginnings. So it's like welcoming in the new beginning is the challenge here, I think. This is the victory. This is the victory over this kind of not, it's uncertainty of your worth. And I think that that's starting new, and then you're super clear on it. You're bam, like you get it, you're clear, and then that's it. And the Page of Swords in this is also, this is like things that we're taking from this journey so far. And I think that this is clarity on which particular mental chatter you want to listen to, because they're all variations of voices. So which one do you want to make more apparent? Which one do you want, 1111 on the time, which one do you want to be the loudest one and pay the closest attention to, right? So it's like getting a clearer sense of yourself and where you are, because that's going to help this new beginning. I feel like there's like ending energy here. There's conclusion energy here. But I do get these octaves, these interesting, it's like I'm seeing like water with like gold flecks in it, or something like that. Like it's like water with gold flecks in it. And what it's doing is it's made it hard for you to see clearly. It's made it really hard for you to see clearly, but I'm seeing these like flecks of things in this storyline here, where it's like you're not really sure of your worth, but then you get it and you see it very clearly. But there's this 10 of Pentacles that's kind of come to a conclusion, and now you're beginning in a whole other thing. The wheel was here, I think, yesterday or the day before. So it's like there's a new beginning here afoot, right? And the Hermit is this wisdom before movement, but there's also this slowdown, which tells me that there's like, it's almost like a winding down of things, right? It's kind of a winding down before a winding back up. And that's where this 6 of Cups is like this reflection energy, and the star is the healing of that, right? This is the healing and the hope, but it's just, this 6 of Cups to me is about looking back on this process and whatever it is that came to an end here. So especially this, like regarding your worth, it could be recognizing your worth. It could be standing in your worth, just worthiness in general. It could be standing in that place and recognizing what's most important to you. And then that is what ushers in all of this new. But I think the temptation might be to stay in this 6 of Cups and reflect. It's so easy to just reflect and reflect and reflect, and to take a situation, to chew it apart and analyze it, and to figure out all the healing that we need to do from it, not realizing that is preventing, that is staying here when we need to go into this energy. Right? Pace yourself, yes, but there also needs to be a recognition of when enough is enough, and what healing is truly healed, because it can also reflect not that there's a lack of healing, but the thing that we're healing is the thing that doesn't need healing, because it's like spinning our wheels, and really it's a tactic to prevent us from moving forward. But I think there's healing here. Just maybe resist the temptation, if there is one or any. Resist that temptation to ruminate on past energies, because I think that this is another sign of like the 10 of Pentacles celebration, like the reward. Celebrate yourself, celebrate the magnificence, right? But also remember, there's a little bit of discernment we need to use. I think this is discernment with self more than anything. This is a little bit of discernment with self. So I'm going to pull from my foot is asleep here. There we go. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives for Friday, June 3rd here? Please please, and thank you. Oh, what is that? Interesting. Did you see that? I don't know how that got in here, but the High Priestess. I'm going to put that here. Wow. That High Priestess has really wanted to come out every single spread. I'm going to put it right there. I feel like maybe give your intuition more credit than you might have been giving it in terms of helping you to see things clearly here. Because there's a lot of I'm seeing a lot of minor arcana mixed in with this. And again, the Hermit is here again. But the High Priestess tells me that it's not just staying in touch with your intuition. I think that there's a way that you might have been disconnected. I almost get this as being the voices that you need to listen to, the Star and the High Priestess, right? The way that this is landing energetically is like the Star and the High Priestess. These are energies you need to be connecting with as well. But what I also see is this Six of Cups and the Page of Swords as the energies that might be pulling at your own energy. This is where you might need to use discernment with yourself, because the Star is almost it's looking at this energy, and the Six of Cups is ugh. But it's looking at that energy being whoa, there's a way that something has to shift here, right? So it's almost, I'm going to leave it like this. I'll do this here so you can see. But I'm going to leave it like this so that you can see this here before I move down further. So I'm going to leave those as their own. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives for June 3rd to clarify these energies, please? And thank you. Whoa. That about sums it up. That definitely sums it up. This deck is what is going on here? Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives? Seven of Wands. I feel like this is when you're... Okay, let me move this up here again. Sorry. When you're trying to defend your habits, I feel the Ten of Pentacles is on the bottom. It's the Hierophant. Oh, that's funny. It's you're trying to defend your bad habits, even though they keep you up at night and you're this is not a useful way of thinking of this. But then the Seven of Wands is no, don't touch my stuff. Right? So it's almost this, I'm laughing because it's I'm thinking of the way it probably looks to Spirit, Muppets arguing with themselves that don't really know that they are pieces of heaven here in terms of the way that this is playing out. But then you get into this Ten of Pentacles Hierophant energy where it's this is the actual story here. This is what's available to you. And this is Taurian energy. So this is something that's beautifully solid and stable. And this isn't necessarily just a relationship. This is relationship to self too. And the seeds that we plant for success in the long term within ourselves, for ourselves, with other people, right? So I'm getting that this is a big push and pull here. And maybe that is the beginning and the ending, right? The ending. Okay, so that makes it clearer here. So the ending is this Six of Cups, and then you're healing that and moving into this Star energy. And the ending is this Page of Swords where you're very clear, and then you're moving into this High Priestess energy here where you're in tune with and in touch with your intuition in a far greater way. So we have the Nine of Swords, the Seven of Wands, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Hierophant. So Spirit, what messages do you have? Ten of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, the World, Seven of Cups, King of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, and then the King of Swords. A lot of court cards. These could be figures in your life that you're working with. I'm hearing variations on a theme. Because there's the Ten of Pentacles here, which is that long-term investment that you've made, and then you're stepping into... My cat's squeaking over here. Yes, what? She's chirping at me. So the Ten of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, and the World here. Yeah, it's a 10 card though. It's it's the ending of something. And then this Seven of Cups is confusion. I think there's some confusion about what you want, not what you want to take with you, but the habits and things that are going to best support this next leg of your journey. And I feel these court cards might all represent different people. I'm getting that they represent people, and I'm not sure how. It's just an overwhelming number of them. I mean, in terms of energies, it could just be these are energies that you're taking with you. Actually, that makes more sense because I saw someone packing these cards into a suitcase. Um, so I feel like this is like, and it's like there's like a passion that you're taking with you, an awareness, an ambition, a knowing of what you want, and that it is something that's quite grounded and that nurtures you and that you're happy to give to others, even if you're not so sure about how much to give yet because it's still new to you. Hence, we're beginning we're beginning something new with the world here. And then the King of Swords, which is that clarity, right? This clarity of intention, clarity of mind, clarity of thought. So there's something about this whole process to do with your worth that, at first you might have felt, what's that song? At first I was afraid, I was petrified. I don't even, I feel like I've sung this in the car so many times, but that's fine. But that's where it's like, that's what came to mind as I touched this card is that song. Like, at first I was afraid, I was petrified. Dun, 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 dun. Now, okay, now we're done. You almost got it out of me. But I feel like these are all lessons that you're taking with you. And maybe at first you didn't know how to integrate or work with them. But I feel like they're parts of you now. Like they're parts of you. Now that I see that they were packed into that suitcase, these 4 cards were like tucked into a suitcase. And I feel like that's what you're taking with you on this particular next step, this next stage. And there's like a wisdom here that that's like been hard earned. There's hard earned wisdom here. And not just from this week, but from, I think, the culmination of energies that are bringing about the storyline from this week in the daily readings, but in general, yeah. This is like the new, like you're starting new, like something, like the wheel is turned. This is Jupiter energy, so it's like an expansion on this little bit of passion. Like you just need a little bit sometimes because that's all that spirit needs to work with and to work miracles, like nothing short of miracles in your life. Right? And Jupiter expands, Jupiter grows. Jupiter expands, Jupiter grows, out comes love and messages galore. But I feel like there's going to be, I feel like your heart is much more open and receptive. The Ace of Cups is, it signifies to me this heart space that is open and flowing and giving and taking. And it's this exchange, right? The Eight of Wands is replicating the energy from here. So this is almost the story of this movement. Like this is sort of what the reason why you were here is because you were trying to figure out the turning of the wheel, right? 2222 was just on the time when I looked up. It's like you've been trying to figure out the turning of the wheel, right? Remember, this row here clarifies the next one and can tell the story of the next one if they were repeating cards. And there's an Eight of Wands here and here. So it's like telling the story of how you might have felt suspended in motion a little bit. Suspended in motion. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives, please? Ace of Swords. It's only a little truth. It's fine. Ace of Swords, 4 of Swords, 9 of Cups, 2 of Swords. Ooh, Tower, Magician. Okay, Emperor, Lovers. Oh my goodness. Okay. Sometimes I can't help myself because a good story comes out and I'm like, yes, let's follow that rabbit hole. But this to me is, it's like realigning with your truth. You're healing this sort of, it's like you needed to get more answers to be sure. Let me put this down. So this is like your truth. This is you standing in your truth and owning that. But I think it came from this sort of rest period or this pause period where you were getting back in touch with this 9 of Cups, which is intended to and meant to, it's like you were getting in touch with this 9 of Pentacles, but this emotional side of it, your why. You were getting in touch with your why. Right? And you were gathering information. You were kind of doing a little bit of a fact-finding mission to understand what your next steps were. And I think that before you could really do that, the tower that was meant to fall, something about your awareness or understanding really did shift. There was that shift, right? The tower's been pretty consistent this week. And then these beautiful... I mean, the tower is beautiful too. Like, let's not malign the tower. It has its place, right? It has its place because it too is a transformative energy. So this, and it's like an intensity of transforming. as well. So it's not bad, right? Let's not crap on Pluto, and well, Mars too, but like, right? So I think that what this transformation did of your truth, and it's like some kind of, it's almost like I get the impression that you were lying to yourself a little bit about your worth, about your deserving, about what you wanted and why you deserved it, right? Your why. Why you deserved it. So as you're stepping into that energy, this the wheel was turning, and this little wonderful spread, you being in your manifesting power. This is all of the kings together, all the lessons of the kings. I've said this in other readings, but I'll say it again. It's the clarity of the King of Swords combined with the knowing investment and the knowing of what the King of Pentacles truly wants, with the King of Cups being in touch with that emotional center, that heart space, this fully integrated emotional realm, right? Meeting with the King of Wands, which is deep passion. The deep passion, it's like water that is on fire, right? That rush and the clarity of knowing how to navigate those seas, because you know that there is something so solid in how you're approaching things. That kind of manifesting is what is here. And there's choices that you have to make, but it could be, this could also alternatively represent relationship energy, be it relationship that you're in, or one that you're looking for, or to do with projects, work, contracts, things like that. But I get the impression that this is like, there's a deep shift that's happened here, but it's important that you know that you did this, like you made that shift. This isn't like the wheel turns because there's a fated aspect of it, but there's also will and like your free will. And I think that you need to understand that like you have so much that you gave to the turning of this wheel. So don't think that it's just like, oh, this is a blessing from the universe, or this is a gift from the universe. You participated in this as well because you shifted your vibration. And that's really important. 2626 was just on the time. That's really important for you to remember as well. I'm basically saying, celebrate your magnificence, right? Celebrate your magnificence. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives for June 3rd? So clarifying the Knight of Pentacles, we have the Justice card, we have the Hanged Man, and we have the Queen of Cups, and we also have the Nine of Pentacles, and the Ace of Wands on the bottom. Why wouldn't we? I feel like this is some repetitive energy here, but what I'm getting is that this slow movement, remember how I said this was sort of like, don't go too fast, like let things sink in as they need to. I think that there's a real sense of clarifying that here, and that this is going to bring you a sense of justice and also fairness. Like this is a sense of integrity. This is how you're going to stay in integrity with yourself. And I think this also helps you to stay in touch with your emotions as you feel more confident, as you begin to own this confidence and really rock that confidence and begin new projects and embark upon new journeys and adventures and take up new offers from the universe. I think that this is, a kind of pivotal energy, and this could be something to do with the Gemini new moon. We do have Mercury here twice with the Magician and the Lovers, right? Gemini and Mercury both showing up. So I mean, it could be to do with that, because this strikes me as portal energy in the world. For the world to show up here, that is definite portal energy too. So keep that in mind. Like, I think that you've put in some amazing work here, my daily creatives, like over time and just in general. Like there's a lot that you've been doing. This week shows me that for sure. So just take a second to celebrate yourself this weekend. Like that, just celebrate yourself. Put a pause on the work. Put a pause on the work. Do whatever celebrating you means to you, whatever that strikes you as, right? Yeehaw. I'm not saying it the way it's written. You can do that in your head. Yeah, when it comes to choosing who will be in your life, I recommend valuing their yeehaw quality above all others. Have it your way. I'm going to say that's some hell yes energy. You almost got a song out of me. Like, like a piece of a song. In the car, it's different. Oh man, I'm an Aquarius and I transitioned and came out as trans during Leo season. So like I'm an honorary Leo. So do I sing in the car or do I perform? Like which one is it, right? Anyways, change is always good. Yeah, this is like looking for the silver linings, looking on the bright side, and not being, this is like that kind of divine discernment, right? They almost look like they're part of the same vignette. But it's like that divine discernment. This is about understanding that, not everything is going to be sunshine and rainbows, but at the same time, you can make sunshine, even if there are no rainbows, right? Like you still have some degree and measure of power, and that's how you are empowered, where you are placed. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives, please? I show up for myself and the world. That's that confidence energy, right? And we forget how sometimes us showing up in our confident selves and in our 9 of Pentacles or in our 9 of Cups and in our fulfilled spaces, knowing our why and owning that unapologetically, it gives other people permission to shine, right? It just does. Like it improves so many people's lives and we don't even realize it. We really don't. So just doing that is a gift to others. In order to awaken the world to the light, I must not be afraid to shine. 100%. You've got to be comfortable shining. That's where it's like, be in your Leo, perform. I don't, no, but like it's like being in that Leo energy is not being afraid to be seen, right? And shining is just part of that. Being comfortable with shining. I know I feel super uncomfortable with it sometimes. Even now on this channel, I feel like in my readings here, I get all like goofy and I'm like my silly self. And then in my course in creativity, I'm like super serious. And I have like the Sam the Eagle eyebrow that's like the Muppet that's, right? But it's like, it's both of these parts can exist together, right? They can exist together and make up your whole self. And what you don't realize is that by just being yourself, you're shining, right? I find that, I have friends that watch this and they say that they feel like they're having a conversation with me when they watch my readings like this, because this is how I am in real life with them. And it's just, that's comforting, but it's that sense of shining by being yourself is what I'm saying on this card here. And then it's not always going to feel comfortable and it may not feel easy at first, but you'll ease into it, right? It's something that you'll grow into, right? So, yeah. So that, my darlings, is your Friday, June 3rd reading. We made it through a week. We made it through another week, and happy new month again. So if this resonated at all, please like and subscribe. I'd love to have you on the channel if you are not already part of our little community here. But if you are, fantastic. And thank you so much for watching and for your eyes and your time. There are other ways to connect with me on the channel, so do check that out. But if this is where we part, my darlings, if this is where we part, I hope that wherever this finds you on the time-space continuum, morning, afternoon, or night, that it finds you very, very well. Take care, my darlings. Have a great weekend.